and to do the creative aspect, but we all hate the business aspect.
There was a significant turning point about a year in when we realized we couldn't keep this up. We weren't making any money. We were just barely paying our bills.
I had heard that most businesses run at about 5 to 10% profit. It was amazing to me to see that in the photography industry specifically, that those numbers might not apply.
When I started looking at the benchmark, I didn't really have numbers. I had an epiphany that I wasn't charging at all when I needed to charge, from session fees to prints, etc.
When we first started, I think we were lucky to pay ourselves at all. If we were taking home even 10%, that was an accomplishment.
I learned immediately that my profit was not enough, that I was working a lot and bringing in a lot of money, and like so many other photographers, was spending too much of it.
In the beginning, I absolutely was not accounting for time. I wasn't accounting for my out-of-pocket costs.
My profit margin was way too low.
Oh, I should know how much we're spending on cost of goods. I should pay attention to those things.
I was spending way too much time shooting.
Every product should include some of my overhead expenses, and it should include my time.
All my money was going right back out the door in marketing and advertising and expenses, overhead, employees.
There should be a markup there just simply beyond my product cost.
And I wasn't keeping enough of it.
We were not pulling in the average yet for retail studios. So seeing that number on the benchmarks, I knew, okay, well, if this is the average, then we can definitely attain the average.
I needed to find ways to cut my overhead.
Looking at my lab's expenses, looking at retouching expenses, and making sure that I was pricing effectively to cover those expenses and still make a profit.
And then once you start to re-examine how to price correctly, achieving those averages doesn't seem so impossible.
I decided that there were a number of things I needed to do. We raised prices, we tried to step into the product world a little bit more. We tried to lower the amount of shoots that we were doing, but increase the value of each shoot. I also lowered my overhead expenses, my employee expenses. It's very scary to implement some of these changes because as a business owner, you're very aware of the fact that your clients might not like these changes. It's intimidating to know that you might lose some clients in the process. We didn't double our prices or triple our prices overnight. We slowly raised them over the next year or two and slowly brought down our costs so that it wasn't an overnight shock for some of our regular clients.
What I saw in the benchmark that I felt would totally change my business, honestly, was taking stock of all of my expenses. All the things that we would love to spend our money on, a new lens, new equipment, just anything, and really making an executive decision about, do I need that equipment, or can I rent that equipment, or is it just a toy? How is that going to affect my bottom line? It also was the thought of having a retail space versus being a home-based business, and how those expenses affect your business.
We took away our brick and mortar location and moved in with some photographer friends of mine, and we're now sharing a studio with several other photographers, and it's just worked out tremendously. Not only has it been fun to be in a studio with all of them, but it's lowered our overhead dramatically.
We definitely made changes to our business, started using managerial accounting, and started inputting and classifying every expense, every income, and paying attention to where the money was coming from and where the money was going.
We have seen, just a lot more money back in our pockets. Our sales have gone up, but the amount of money we're keeping has gone up dramatically.
As a photographer, we love being creative. We love taking pictures. We love interacting with our clients. We don't love doing all the administrative tasks that come with being a business owner. The business aspect is the most important piece of it, if you are going to maintain a successful and profitable business.
This is how much you should be taking home. 35% is that goal if you're a retail studio. Now we're actually creeping up on 40%.
In the beginning, I was keeping about 5–10% of my sales, and now we're at about 45%.
I hope that this is just invaluable information that other photographers can use to say, yeah, I absolutely can do this. They did it, so why can't I?
It's such a valuable resource that you can't get anywhere else, that you're not going to see, reading different business magazines.
To me, the benchmark is what takes your business from you taking pictures for fun